Sure. Um, Hi Maria, how are you? Seems to be the problem here. I don't know if she can hear me. Are you in the Zoom call, Sydney? Okay, of course.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This is both is okay, right?
Both are correct answers, but you'll need to know one of them.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I had you, because you were in the waiting room, so I let you in, but interesting. Okay. I don't hear anything on my end though, which is strange. I feel like I should be hearing something. Oh, now disconnected.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, it looks like she left. It sounds like she just left. I just need to know if you can hear me okay. Okay, yeah. Um, let's see. I'm just want to make sure that she is that you? Okay, it's Maria again. Let's see. Hopefully she can hear me this time. I think I am heard because it has the my mute button is making the little green line, but I can't hear her. That's the only downside. Sorry, we're having some technical issues, so we'll start shortly. I just want to make sure that this is okay for the students on Zoom, so I do apologize. Mm, okay. Mm, uh, All right, let's see. That's so strange. Let me see if I can just invite you. Mm, is that you? No, it's probably Alicia. Alicia, is that you?
Yes, yes, that's me.
Okay, so you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Work. Did you need me to send it to work personal? Okay. All right. Hmm. Any luck? Okay. I think I might move on with the class then. I'll keep my chat available for me to see instead of hidden this time. So I can keep track of that for now. Just let me know if you need me to send a link again or something. Okay. What time is it? 5:05. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're ready to start now. How are you guys doing today? Good.
Good, good, and you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Alicia. Anyways, I want to move on to our warm-up. Cindy, do you want to take this one away? And Cindy will explain the warm-up to you guys. What do you think? What do you think? I think that would be good, okay? Okay. And then maybe I'm going to just take it.
So the warm up for today is what does America mean to you? So the reason for this is because you guys are going to be U.S. citizens pretty soon. So you guys are going to be able to actually participate in our democracy. So these are just some questions to get you guys acclimated or thinking about what you guys think America means to you. Oh, sorry.
You can just post it.
So these are the questions that you can talk to each other about. The first one is, what political party do you plan on joining, if any? So Republican, Democrat, or if you know of any independent ones that you would like to join, like Libertarian or anything like that. The number two question is, what are some good or bad things about America? So you can talk about why you want to come here to America and what you don't like about America compared to where you came from. Number three are what some things that you would like to change about America. So some policies.
The medicine and I got
I want you guys to talk about what you would like to see change. And number four is, where would you like to visit most in the U.S.? It could be either the states or the territories that you guys want. So it could be Texas or it can be Guam, whatever you guys want. So you guys just want to talk to each other about these questions. I'll just get warm up for today. And on Zoom, you guys can just write them in the chat. Your answers to these questions. You want a timer on here?
Yeah.
What are some good or bad things about America? What are some things that you change? Yes.
I can put the timer on if you want. You
Okay.
can walk around. How much should I put, Sydney? Oops. Okay. Was that you? Let's see who that was.
Cristina.
Okay. Hi, Christina. See, so. Add them. Okay. So partner up with someone, answer these questions, take turns asking and answering. I'm seeing a lot of silence. So partner up, move chairs or seats if needed. Maria, do you want to work with our new student? I'm sorry, I can't remember. Huh? Claudia, do you two want to work together and ask each other the questions? Yep. Yep. So ask each other the questions and answers. Take turns. And people on Zoom, you can just type out the answers you have in chat. And me or Cindy, did you get in yet? No. I will go ahead and read those as well. Or if you like discussing, let me know and I'll put you guys in a breakout room. I like another minute. Oh, the timer? Yes, I can move that. I can do that.
So for example, the first one, I don't get it. Like,
Yeah. Oh, like what political party do you plan on joining?
yeah, like, I don't know.
So a political party would be like Democratic or Republican, or if you know any individual parties as well, like Libertarian, is that how you would say that?
Mhm.
Those would be all appropriate answers. You just want to decide which party you plan on joining, if
Oh,
any.
okay.
I'll just look on my phone for the timer for now. Did you give Claudia a calendar, 100 questions and a name tag?
You have the 100 questions, right, Claudia?
Oops. Sorry. Yeah, there's another one over there. You're okay, Christina. I'm glad that you're part of the Zoom class still.
Are you guys gonna put it on the break room or we're just gonna do it by yourself?
I was gonna have you guys type it in chat, the answers, but do you guys want to discuss it instead in the break room?
Please.
Or do you want to discuss it instead?
Yeah, please.
Okay, you might not be able to see the questions though, so I recommend maybe writing it out or let me see if I can copy them and send them to the break room for you guys. Oh. Show copy. Let's see, how do I do it again? Breakout rooms. All right, I'm gonna put all of you guys in the breakout room. You guys are free to discuss. It's gonna be 4 of you guys. And I'm gonna send you guys there right now and bring you back when we're ready to talk. And I'll send a chat in there as well with the questions. But if you guys have any issues, please text me and I'll let you know, or I'll check in on you guys every once in a while.
Okay.
Any luck?
No, I think it's good.
Did you want to try like joining on my tablet maybe? You want to try that? My Thanks. I'm at 94%, and also it's pretty stable. It just rotates. I don't know what we're gonna do. Google Classroom, I don't have that. But possibly down. Over here.
You had a birthday.
Oh, thank you. Hold up, I think I will.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if it's connected to the internet. Here, you wanna, I can sign in. Oh, okay, hopefully this works. Let's see. I'm gonna go check on them, see if, well, I don't wanna check on them because then no one can see the questions. Are they all in there? Okay. Are you in? Or no, I wouldn't know. I don't know why I just asked that. Is that you? I'm gonna send you to that breakout room. Are they still talking? Okay. Maybe let them know. We'll give them like 3 more minutes. Or actually 4. We'll do 4.
Hey guys, about 4 minutes. Is over.
Yes.
Public, like public opinion. It's a public. So you- Okay. That's gonna be fun.
Okay. Alright. I think we're gonna move on. I'm gonna bring them back, so. See if they're. Hmm. Did you tell them that about it or? Okay, yeah, they're not back yet. Huh? A 60-second timer, yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna ask for participation here, and when they join, they can participate as well. Okay. All right, let's regroup, everyone. Let's regroup. Would anyone like to present their answers for these questions? Any volunteers? Oh, they're back now. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Anyone on Zoom, if you want to present your answers to these questions, you're welcome to present.
Mm,
Anyone?
Okay, so
You can
we
do one.
thinking
Or-
about giving neutral answers and not personal. Like, for example, regarding to the good things, it's like this country brings a lot of job opportunities. And regarding about bad things, things such, oh, but the weather in Illinois is very cold. I would like to change that.
You can change the weather. That's a fun one.
Yeah, because you are not talking about any of their culture or religion, or so it's a very neutral answer. The weather always works.
Mm-hmm. That's very neutral, you're right. Anyone want to share an answer to a question? It doesn't have to be all of them. If you want to pick one, that's fine. Luce?
what are some things that what would you like to change?
Okay. Abby.
For me, I would like to change the weather.
The weather too. That's funny. All right.
Yeah,
Luce is gonna participate now. Sorry about that, Luce. Do
I'm
you want to give
sorry.
your... No, it's okay.
Would you almost in the USA?
You, mhm.
The first thing is tax. Charge taxes for everything.
They do. They do charge taxes for everything. The So Lou said the good things is
Yeah.
oh, they don't do it in Mexico?
You don't pay like taxes. Yeah.
I hear isn't it like Minnesota that has like the prices already with taxes included? You still are, but you're not like calculating it in your head and then Mm. That is a bad thing. Right, lots of taxes
Your check is less taxes too.
because they take it out, yep. Escape taxes. Correct. Anyone else want to participate and give an answer? Anyone else on Zoom? No? Okay. All right. Any questions on this warm up before I move on? Okay. So let's move on to our review. So can someone raise their hand and tell me one branch or part of the government? Sergio? The Congress? Maria? The President? Okay. Anyone else? Yes? Supreme Court? You can also raise your hands on Zoom. I think there's an option for that, Sydney, right? Raising your hand on Zoom. So if you want to participate, you can raise your hand on Zoom as well. So we have the Congress, legislative, the president, the executive, the courts, and the judicial. Those are all appropriate answers to this question. You just need to know one. Can someone tell me what stops one branch from becoming too powerful? Edgar? Checks and balances, and Rosa or Perla? Separation of power. Nice. Can someone tell me what is the rule of law? Sergio? Everyone must follow the law. Anyone else have something different?
I don't know. I think I'm right. I don't know.
It's okay. Let's see. So everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law. Government must obey the law, and no one is above the law. These are all appropriate answers.
Okay.
Who is in charge of the executive branch? Maria?
Then
The president? Nice. We elect a president for how many years? Back there? No, behind you. 4 years? 4, nice. What month do we vote for president? Perla? November. And what is the name of the president of the United States now? Luce? Biden? Anyone else have something different? Joe Biden? So you can say Joe Biden, Joseph Biden, or Biden. All appropriate answers. What is the name of the vice president of the United States now? Oh, Frida? Kamala Harris? Anyone else have something different? You can say Kamala Harris or just Harris. Both are appropriate. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? Yes. I'm trying to remember your name. It's hard for me to see it. The vice president. What was your name again? I'm sorry. Minerva. Gotcha. The vice president. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? Sergio? The Speaker of the House. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? Sergio? The president. Who signs bills to become laws? Minerva? President. Who vetoes bills? Maria? The president. What does the president's cabinet do? Perla? Advises the president. What are two cabinet level positions? Sergio? Secretary of Commerce, and which one was the other one? Agriculture, yep. Anyone else have something different? Edgar? Energy and education, yep. Anyone else? Secretary of Defense, yep. Those are all good answers. There's a lot of them. You can just need to know two. Just know also Vice President and Attorney General are also part of this list. I'll leave this up for a little bit. Correct, you need to know two. Okay. Are we good to move on from this, or anyone need more time?
No.
What are two major political parties in the United States? Rosa? No. Perla. No, it was Rosa. I was right. I was right. I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Democrat and Republican. Yep. What is the political party of the president now? Yes? Democrat. Yep. Who makes federal laws? Sergio? The Congress. You can also say Senate and House of Representatives, or US or national legislature. Those are all appropriate answers. What are two parts of the US Congress? Perla? The Senators and House of Representatives. How many US senators are there? Sergio? 100. We elect a US senator for how many years? Maria?
Yeah.
6 years. You know, I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering if I fixed those numbers from last task. We'll have to see. Who is one of your state's US senators now? Maria?
So,
Dick Durbin? Anyone else have something different? Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin. You can also say Richard Durbin if that's easier for you. Who does a US senator represent? Perla? All people in the state. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? Yes? That sounds right. Yeah, 435, and I wrote it correctly too. We elect a US representative for how many years? Luis? 2. Okay, we're good. Name your US representative. Perla? Raja Krishnamurti, good job. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Yes. Because they have more people. Anyone else have something different? So because of the state's population, because they have more people, because some states have more people. You just need to know one. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? Maria.
Johnson?
Yeah, Mike Johnson. I was like, wait, is it? Yes, it is. I forget sometimes. What does the judicial branch do? Maria? Reviews laws. It explains laws. It resolves and disputes disagreements and decides if a law goes against the Constitution. I'm not missing any hand raises on Zoom, right? Okay, just making sure. Yes, back there. 9. I didn't even ask the question yet. The 9. He's ready. He's ready. What is the highest court in the United States? Sergio. The Supreme Court. Who is the Chief of Justice, or sorry, who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? Yes, Rosa? John Roberts or John G. Roberts Jr.? Those are 2 answers that you can give. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the state government. What is one power of the states? Yes. Schooling and education. Anyone else? Yep, give out license. Driver's license. Anyone else? So you provide schooling and education. They provide protection. They provide safety. They give driver's license. And they approve zoning and land use. These are all power to the state. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? Maria? Print money. Yep. Anyone else? Declare war. Anyone else? So they can print money, they can declare war, they can create an army, and they can make treaties. Who is the governor of our state now? Maria? J.B. Pritzker. All right. Any questions on that review before we move on? Did you want to do the activity as well? Or did you want, yeah, I'll let you.
So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a timeline of all the wars that happened in 1800s and the 1900s. So on the next slide, we'll put you in groups and you'll spend 15 minutes researching the war that you're assigned using the internet or your phone. And if you don't have phones, group of somebody that does. And then you're gonna discuss the causes, key events, consequences, and any notable figures involved in the war. Afterwards, create a timeline of the war. We're going to give you a piece of paper to do that. And marking important dates and events chronologically.
And then on Google Classroom, we have a document on there as well, called, let's see if I can find it here. War research and timeline. There you'll find this form right here and answer these 2 questions. So information on the war that you decide to pick from up here and the timeline down here. You guys can work on it separately or as a group. Just let me know. I think maybe a group, maybe put them in the breakout room. I'll put you guys in a breakout room because I think some people might not have access to Google Classroom. So I will do that and you guys can discuss and research on Google or whichever internet browser your answers. There we go. First off, do you want to pass these out? So this is the list of wars that we're going to be talking about in class today. I'm going to have you guys pick one piece of paper from the list, our little envelope, I guess. And that will assign you into what group you're gonna do. Mhm. Oh, did you get two? Sydney, she got two. Does everything make sense on my friends in Zoom? Do you guys have any questions on Zoom?
You should reflect the ones you make.
Christina,
Okay.
Abicia, do you guys have any questions?
You are going to put us into breakout rooms to do our work?
Say it again, please.
You are going to select a word for us, or you are going to do groups two in breakout rooms?
So since you guys are on Zoom, you guys can pick the word that you guys want. Right now we're distributing the words randomly in the class. So you guys can decide to pick one here and make a timeline and research it.
Okay.
There's a Google form in Google Classroom. Christina, I know you don't have it. Do you want me to send you that Google form?
Okay,
Do you want me to send it to you?
please.
Okay.
Do
Let
you
me
have my
see.
email?
I know you sent it to me one time. Let me see if I can find it here again. Let me just.
Otherwise, I can put
Oh, you guys can still see this. Let me stop my share. Yeah. Can you see my screen still, Christina? Oh, here you are.
Yes,
Found you.
you're fine. It's me. Thank you. Sorry.
Mhm. Let me see. Copy.
Perfect.
B. Okay. I'm sending it to you right now. So you should have access
Okay.
to it.
Okay, cool.
Um, I disconnect an email. Okay. So here you go.
So if everybody can look at the board really quick, this is a quick example of a timeline of the War of 1812, which was fought between the United States and Great Britain. Which should not get confused with the Revolutionary War. It's two different wars. They fought again after, say, the Napoleonic Wars that sparked this one. So at the start, formal declaration of war by the United States, June 18, 1812. And then the next event is issues included British violations of U.S. maritime rights, which is in the water, in the oceans, imprisonment of American soldiers and sailors, and trade restrictions on American shipping. Then the next event that happened with that, it was only a 3-year war, so it was pretty quick. The war ended with the exchange of ratifications of the Treaty of Ghent. Then on April 6th, after that, 7 American prisoners are killed and 32 wounded in the Dartmoor massacre at Dartmoor Prison in Devon, England. And officially, the war ended in February 15th, 1815, but random battles still occurred for a short amount of time due to this April 6th event. And so that's just an example of the timeline. It can be longer, shorter. It all depends on what war you get and how much information actually comes with the war that you take from the envelope. So you can make it look like this. It can be longer, whatever you guys feel like you put on there. We'll leave this up so you guys have a reference on how to draw your timeline and what you want it to look like. How much time? How much time?
We can give them like 20. So they need to stand up and go to their groups.
Okay. You wanna do it?
Oh yeah, for sure. So let's see. Who here has the Mexican-American War? Just you, Daniel? Okay. I'm gonna put you in that corner for now. And then we're gonna have to distribute some people, I think. What about the Civil War? Edgar, Sergio? Okay, so you two are gonna work together. Maybe you can work at the table in front of Daniel. I'm just trying to distribute, or if you guys want to sit together as well, that's fine. Uh, who has the Spanish American War? Luis? And okay, so you two are working together. Maybe figure out where you, if you want to move up and sit by Luis, that'd be fine. The World War One. Perla? Who else has World War One? Yes. Okay, you three? Okay. You three have to sit together. Your back table would work for you guys. You should probably give him a war.
To work with,
Oh, Daniel, that's right.
can you go sit next to yes. Thank you.
That way you two can work on the Mexican American War together. What was that? World War II. Luce? Anyone else have World War II? Sandra? See, do you want to move up here with Luce and work together? Korean War? Okay, anyone else have Korean War? No. Huh? Korean War, do you have it? No? Okay. We'll come back to that one and we'll see how many people are in groups. How about the Vietnam War? Anyone on? You two, okay, so you two are gonna be working together. And Gulf War? Lavardia, Rosa. Anyone else doing Gulf War? Spanish American. Okay, so you're working with you and her. So you two are working together. Minerva, what did you get? World War One. Okay, who had World War One again? Besides, let's see. Okay, I need to figure out. Okay, so you guys back there, what were they were World War Two? You guys, okay, so you're with them. Or yeah, do you want to work with Cecilia? Actually, Minerva? Do you work with Cecilia instead to distribute that? And you had the Korean? Yeah, Korean War. So you're gonna do Korean War now. And Claudia, which one did you have? Gulf War? And you also had Gulf? So you two will be working together. And Rosa, you also had Gulf, right? You had Gulf War? Okay, so then you three are working together, actually. Mhm. Okay, cool. Any questions from people on Zoom before I put you in breakout rooms? I'm gonna send Sydney in the breakout rooms with you guys, so if you guys have any questions, you can type questions to him or ask him. You guys can work on it together, or if you want to work on it on your own, that's fine too. Oh, the timeline? So, no, so your topic is that you're gonna Google information on the war that you have. So on the piece of paper, maybe on the back, you can write stuff that you found on Google or any internet browser that you have. And after that, we'll give you guys time to work on the timeline. And there is when you will put information on about the war and what happened during when and the war. I will be putting the example timeline here when you guys are ready, but you do have to do some research on the war first before you can actually make the timeline. Does that make sense for everyone? Oh, Cecilia, are you working by yourself? Minerva, weren't you gonna work with Cecilia? Mm-hmm. No, I know, but she doesn't have anyone else to work with. She has Korean, I know, but she doesn't have anyone else, unless anyone in a group of three wants to work in Korean War instead. How are they doing on there, by the way? Do they seem like they understand what they're doing? Okay. I'm gonna pause the recording for a sec. Okay. Thank you. Breakout rooms. We're gonna close this room now. Where's that option of screen share? Okay. Was that you? Okay. We're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Can I have everybody's attention, please? We're gonna go over our timelines now. Before we get started, does anybody on Zoom want to present? We're just gonna do specific dates, not all your information. We're just gonna go over the important dates. Anybody on Zoom want to go? No? Okay. Yeah. Mexican American War, who had that one? You guys want to go over some of your dates from your timeline? Excuse me? They're presenting, sorry. Mhm.
The intention of US President James K. Scott to present the United States as an administration is significant speech close to the continue to the Pacific Ocean. When there's still have lost about 1/3 of the territory, including northern of the president dates. California, Utah, Nevada, North Mountains. The finally, more finally, on the February 2nd, 1848, the trade off of the American Gulf was signed, establishing the Rio Grande before the Civil War.
Thank you. For the next one, we're gonna have you guys like come up here so the people on Zoom can hear you. Civil War, who had the Civil War? Oh, you did? You mind coming up here? Edgar?
Yeah.
Edgar, you mind coming up here so the people on Zoom can hear you on the mic? Thank you.
Just the mic can check you guys talking and the participate.
Yeah, you can. You're fine there. I can move it to you.
Hello? ¿Cuántos se pones? The American Civil War from April 12, 1861 to May 26, 1865. Also known by other names was Civil War in the United States between the North and the Conference. The South, which had been formed by the state that had seceded from the Union.
Economic policy and rate of the federal government, and most importantly, the roles of the slavery which American society.
Disagreement over slavery states versus federal rights. The election of Abraham Lincoln had the economy. Well,
Thank you. Spanish American War. Who had the Spanish American War? Yeah, Spanish American War. Just a few points.
yeah. I read the half and choose.
Okay.
The Spanish-American War begins in the aftermath of the international explosion of and main harbor in the Cuba, learning to United States intervention in the Cuba War of Independence. They were led to United States emergence predominating Monte and Caribbean region.
Okay, okay. The Caribbean region are result in the USA acquisition of Puerto Rico, one in the Philippines. It also led to the United States involvement in the Philippine Revolution and later to the Philippine-American War. Date April 21. The war started at April 21 and finished December 10, 1898. 7 months, 2 weeks, and 5 days. Finish the
war.
Thank you. World War One. World War One. Thank you.
The identification of cause of World War One remains of the five issue. World War One began in the Balkans on July 28, 1914, and hostilities
Hostilities.
and November 11, 1980,
Living 17 millions and dead and 25 millions. Wonder. Moreover, the Russian civil wars can, in many ways, be
Considered.
continuation of World War One, asking various other conflicts and the direct optional in 1988.
Countries that fight in the First World War One: Alemania, Austria, Hungary, Turkey, Francia, Great Britain, Russia, Italy, Japan, and United States.
Thank you. World War II.
I definitely should respect you presented, or they will. So if you can, be quiet, please, around the phone, I would appreciate that. The World War II began on 1st September 1939. Britain and France declared war on Germany. Germany invaded Poland. The German invasion of Poland, which is considered the main cause of the war. The principles.
Belligerent.
Belligerents were Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan, and the allies was France, Great Britain, United States, the Soviet Union, and to a lesser extent China. The World War II was the biggest and deadliest war in the history, involving more than 30 countries. The Nazis invaded France in May 10, 1940. Germany bombed Paris in June 3, 1940. Finally, 6 years later, the war is finished and is considered the most glorious war in the history at that time.
Thank you. Korean War.
Okay. Korea War start in June 25. When North Korea invaded South Korea and settled after 25 July 1953. North Korea was supported by China.
Thank you. Are you going to? Okay, thank you. Vietnam War.
Vietnam War. September 1945, communist leader Paul remembers Vietnam. Declared independent North Vietnam. And March 1944, no, 54.
What's the pronunciation?
Battle of.
Battle?
Mhm.
Battle of Bien Phu began. July 1954, North and South Vietnam decreed of Yannin Accords. Tratado. Tratado.
May 1961, U.S. troops land in South Vietnam. March 1965, U.S. bomb North Vietnam. March 1968, U.S. forces murder 500 civilians at Mai Lai. January 1973, President Nixon signs Paris Peace Accord.
Thank
Okay,
you.
that's a lot of information.
Last one, go for.
The Gulf War was a conflict between Iraq and 29 other countries. It started on August 1990 with invasion of Kuwait. Two presidents maker in the Gulf War. They were Saddam Hussein of Iraq and George Herbert Walker Bush. The Gulf War ended of February 28, 1991. The winner in this war is United States.
World War overview. In August 1990, Iraq invaded the country of Kuwait to its subdue it in a bid to gain more control over the lucrative oil supply of the Middle East. In response, the United States in the UN Security Council demanded that Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein withdraw Iraqi troops from Kuwait, but Hussein refused.
Okay. The timeline of the resume is answered. The second 1990, Hussein invades Kuwait. August, on August 6, 1990, the ONU condemning the Iraqi invasion. August 7, the USA deployed the troops to the Saudi Arabia, the famous Operation Desert Shirt. Um, the ONU, the UNA Security Council give the ultimatum Saddam Hussein. And January 16, 1991, the famous Operation Desert Storm. And February 24, between 24, 28, 1991, the Operation Desert Storm was successful and for delivered to Kuwait. On the February 28, 1991, it was declared the finish the war. That's all.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone. Anyone have any questions? Yeah. I could never because I don't here all the time. Before we move on, anyone on Zoom want to present any information they found researching?
We talk about war. This is a very tricky word. World War One.
World War I.
And we have been talking about who was the president, which was Wilson, and that it was a war by the United States in the 1900s, and the United States won the war.
United States won the war. Yep. Good job.
We also talk about that we need to not to be nervous during the test, because never ever nothing bad happens, and if so, there is always a solution
Right. Yep. And there's always solutions, so it's not worth panicking over.
for every single problem. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good job. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Mhm. So let's move on to our civics lesson for today. If you didn't, is it disconnecting again? Try that. Okay. Hopefully it stops disconnecting. All right. If I can have everyone's attention, please. Actually, Maria, did you want to talk before we about your citizenship ceremony or interview? For your oath ceremony? Do you want to talk about how the interview went for you? Might as well join the rest of the class and talk in front. Does someone want to translate help translate? Anyone? I'm not really good at a translator. Someone want to translate for Maria and help out? Okay, I will try my best to translate for my non-Spanish speakers.
A mí me preguntaban cómo se llama la primera, que es la Constitución. ¿Quién fue el que rompió las leyes? ¿Cuándo era la independencia? La otra era, ¿cómo se llamaba el juez de la corte? Y el nombre del presidente. Fueron las preguntas que me hicieron, y la de escritura y lectura fue ¿quién vive en la Casa Blanca? Que ahí ya te dije lo que tienes que escribir, que en la Casa Blanca vive el presidente y de cuál país, pero lo tienes que escribir bien para que te adelante, si no, no te la pasas tampoco. Y ya después los demás fueron todo lo personal tuyo, que te preguntan de la N400. A mí me hicieron 20 preguntas de las 50 preguntas que hay de la N400.
No, es información personal.
Ajá. Entonces, la suma de las 50 preguntas que son, no me hicieron 20. Las 5 que tenemos que decir sí y las otras 15 que tenemos que decir no. Entonces, a todos nos va a variar porque no a todos nos toca igual. Pero es muy fácil y sí nos ponemos nerviosos cuando llegamos ahí. Pero ellos nos dicen que no tengamos problemas. Y ellos ya saben que uno se pone nervioso. Pero son muy amables. Bueno, el que me toca, chicas.
¿Cuándo le toca su?
De 2 a 3 semanas para llegar a la cita. Porque ahí ya no la. Porque yo pregunté y me dijeron que ya no. Que ya todos nos lo van a mandar por correo. Y no, hasta el día que nos lleguen, nos vamos a tener que hacer juramento.
De hacer como en un grupo grande.
Sí. Sí, ahí va como en el video que vimos. Así vamos, depende de donde nos vayan a mandar.
Disculpe, las de ¿have you ever dar definiciones? ¿Le preguntan alguna definición o no?
Nada más me preguntaban de las taxas que yo debía taxas.
Sí, pero alguna definición, ¿no?
Nada más.
Como, por ejemplo, que los niños. No, nada.
Esa no me preguntaron. Fue todo.
Anyone want to try translating before I try butchering it? No? I'm good. Okay. So
We can hear Maria. Did you pass the test?
oh, they can't hear you, Maria. She did. Okay, so I will say it in English or try my best. Maria passed the test yesterday.
¡Yujú! ¡Congratulations!
Um,
Enhorabuena, María. Me alegro muchísimo.
she said she was nervous, but in the end she did fine. She got lucky. She had someone nice take care of her. Not the same for everyone, but she had someone nice, so that's good. She said her questions were easy, probably because you studied a lot.
What? Which ones? Which ones in the civics?
Which questions in the civics? The first question? Oh, what's the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Oh, the name of the supreme. Oh, the name of the supreme judge, Chief Justice. That's right. The name of Chief
Roberts.
Justice,
John Roberts.
John Roberts. Oh, they asked you about the holidays.
Okay,
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Oh, one is Independence Day.
July 4, 1776.
Hmm.
And what else?
Yeah, that's about all she can remember, but that's a good amount of memory. It's a
How
good
many
job.
in the writing? In the writing.
Um,
No writing, she say or something.
no, so
No writing?
she did do writing.
Oh, what sentence?
Who lives in the White House?
Okay, how about the reading?
Mm, I'll ask her in a second.
What?
I'll ask her in 1 second.
Okay.
Relax, Cristina, relax.
Maria, do you remember what sentence you read for the interview? The sentence that you read? Did you do reading? Did Oh, who lives in the White House?
Okay.
That was the reading sentence. Who lives in the White House?
Ask her if she had two questions about the definitions.
She said she didn't.
No definitions?
No.
Okay, but should we study the definitions?
I recommend it just to be on the safe side because she could have just been lucky. She said her officer was super nice. So they
Okay.
probably went easier, but who knows? I recommend it though.
Okay, it was a male or a female?
I don't think that really matters too much. I don't know who it was.
In the N400, how many questions?
I think she said they asked her like 20 questions in the N400.
Oh my God, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a lot of trips that I have to memorize all the dates.
Right. Yeah, that's important dates.
Or just yes and no. The yes and no questions, or also about your trips, the dates, and all of that.
Correct.
No, I mean, the questions that she had was about.
Thank you, Maria, for presenting and sharing.
María, enhorabuena.
Entonces, nos dieron una hoja donde viene la lectura y la escritura. Yo al final se la van a dar, pero eso era la que entra escribir para cuando nos están la oración.
She says good luck to everyone. Thank you, Maria.
Ya se va porque ya es ciudadana.
Right? She's ready. She's ready to be a US citizen. Pick her up so fast. I'm proud. I tried my best translating the Spanish. It was a lot, so I do apologize. Um, any questions on that at all before I move on to the civics lesson? Okay. So I'm moving on to our civics lesson. If you didn't know, we're going to be covering wars today. We're going to start off with our wars in the 1800s. So the wars in the 1800s, there was 4 major U.S. fought wars, and that would be the War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, the Civil War, and the Spanish-American War. And this is on your civics question as well, or your 100 questions, I mean. The War of 1812, this lasted from 1812 to 1815. President James Madison asked Congress to declare war on Great Britain. The British were stopping and capturing American ships, and they were also arming American Indians to fight against the Americans. They were hoping that by arming these American Indians, that they would fight with the British when it came time to fight the US. As a result, the nation's trade was disrupted and Great Britain burned down the US Capitol. This was the first time after the Revolutionary War that America had to fight a foreign country to protect its independence. Next would be our Mexican-American War. This was between the United States and Mexico. This war began in Texas from 1846 to 1848 because the President James Polk believed westward expansion was important for the United States. Does anyone here know what this building is? The Alamo? That's right, the Alamo. This is where a big battle of this war took place. The United States won the war and received land from Mexico. They signed a treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Is that how you say that? Hidalgo? This treaty allowed the U.S. to gain California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, and parts of other states. Next is our Spanish-American War. This was between the United States and Spain. The United States wanted to help Cuba become independent from Spain because the United States had economic interest in Cuba. The United States won the war in 1898, and Cuba had its independence along with Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, and they became U.S. territories. The Civil War was from 1861 to 1865. The people of the U.S. basically fought each other. Americans in the northern states fought to support the federal government, which is the Union, and they were fighting against Americans from the southern states. The southern states were trying to separate themselves to form a new nation, and the Confederate States of America is what they were going to call themselves, or the Confederacy. The war was from 1861 to 1865, and the Confederate Army surrendered to the Union Army. And I don't know if you guys have seen this flag before, but this was their Confederate flag. You'll see it if you go more southern of Illinois or just to the southern states. You'll see it more frequently. Yeah. So the blue is basically the Union, which is the people who will support the government, and the red are people who are Confederates, which is people who wanted to split and become their own just like part of the government. Like they want to create themselves a new nation. So problems that led to the Civil War, slavery, economic reason, and states' rights. But slavery is definitely a huge one. The Civil War because when 11 southern states voted to separate from the US to form their own country, known as the Confederate States of America. So that's what happened or how it all started with these 11 states voting to become their own nation. They believe that the federal government threatened their right to make their own decision about their government. So that's why they wanted to split, to have their own ideas. They both had very difficult economic systems. So the South's agriculture based on economy depended heavily on slave labor, and the North was industrial and did not depend on slavery. So the North decided to move on from slaves and use more economic or not industrial ways of, doing things. So instead of having people pick cotton, for instance, there's a cotton picker, and that helped, people not have to have slaveries. That is just one example that I can think off my head. Versus the South, they decided to keep it the same and not move forward. So slavery. It existed in many countries long before America was founded. Many Africans were being brought to the American colonies as slaves. Men, women, and children were brought against their will. They were often separated from their families, and slaves worked without payment or basic rights. Abraham Lincoln was the President of the United States from 1861 to 1865. The land led the nation during the Civil War. He did not agree on the separation of southern states. He wanted to save the Union, and he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and that declared that slaves who lived in the rebelling Confederate States were forever free. He was then killed by a Southern supporter, John Wilkes Booth. The Emancipation Proclamation declared that slaves living in the Southern or Confederate States were free. Many slaves joined the Union Army, and this led to the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which ended slavery in all of the United States. Moving on, any questions on the wars from the 1800s? Okay, let's talk about the 1900s now. So some wars in the 1900s, you need to know one of them was the World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, or Gulf War. World War I began in 1914. U.S. entered the war after German submarines attacked British and U.S. ships. War was led by Britain, France, Italy, and the U.S. They were all allies, and they defeated the Central Powers, which was Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Ottoman Empire. The war ended in 1919, and the war was known as the War to End All Wars. Woodrow Wilson was the president during World War I. He is our 28th president, and he kept the US out of World War I, but by 1917, it was no longer possible and when asked Congress to declare war on Germany. For World War II, it began in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. The US entered World War II in 1941 after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The United States joined France, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union as Allied powers, and this led to the invasion known as D-Day. War ended when Japan surrendered in 1945. See if I can. So the US fought Japan, Germany, and Italy in World War II, and this was truly a world war with battles fought in Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific Ocean. So you can see here, everyone who is red are the enemies in this case, and the greens are our allies. Franklin Roosevelt was the president during the Great Depression and World War II. The Great Depression was a period of economic crisis after the stock market crashed. Roosevelt was the longest serving president. He was elected 4 times before term limits existed. So it's a long time. Now, no, that's not the right name. That's Dwight D. Eisenhower. I have to change that. So before Dwight became the 34th president of the United States in 1953, he served as a major general in World War II. He led successfully D-Day invasion of Normandy, France on June 6, 1944, and he retired from active service in the military and was elected president later that year. He served 2 terms as president. Next is the Cold War. The main concern of the US during the Cold War was the spread of communism. The US and its allies believed that a democratic government and capitalist economy were the best ways to preserve individual rights and freedom. The Cold War began shortly after the end of World War II and lasted for more than 40 years. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, was established in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And the Warsaw Pact, also known as Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation and Mutual Assistance, was a mutual defense treaty signed by Soviet Union and 7 other communist states in Central and Eastern Europe on May 14, 1955. Here you'll see a map. Anyone in this dark blue is our NATO members, people who allied with the US. And then the Warsaw Pact members are in the darker red. Those are people who worked with Soviet Union. And you'll see that there's some lighter and bluer colors. Those are people that kind of lean towards more one side than the other. They were scared about this red becoming bigger and overtaking the world. So that's what the whole point of the Cold, that's why we were so scared. We didn't want communism to spread, since we want to protect our freedom and liberties. On September 11, 2001, the terrorists attacked the US. The terrorists chose 4 flights, and 2 of the planes crashed into the World Trade Center in New York City, destroying both buildings. The 3rd plane crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and the 4th plane aimed originally at Washington, D.C., but was crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. Almost 3,000 people died in these attacks. That 4th plane was actually stopped by people on that flight. They decided to overtake the terrorists on the flight and were able to redirect the plane to not hit Washington, D.C., but instead land in a field. I believe it was a field, right? That they landed in. So they all lost their lives, but they were able to protect the government. So some questions that we did not go over. Independence Day. We celebrate Independence Day on July 4th. This marks the anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. We celebrate the 4th of July as the birthday of Americans with parade, fireworks, patriotic songs, and readings of the Declaration of Independence. Some national holidays that you guys need to know as well is that there's New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. These are all holidays that you'll see like on your calendar. And I believe usually if you work like a normal like office job, they'll usually like take time off, which is kind of cool. I don't know. But yeah, make sure that you remember these ones and nothing like Easter, or Cinco de Mayo, right? We don't celebrate that nationally. The Louisiana Territory, that was a large area west of the Mississippi River. In 1803, the U.S. bought the Louisiana Territory from France for $15 million. Farmers can now ship the farm products down the Mississippi River without permission from other countries. New Orleans was a major shipping port, and Meriwether Lewis and William Clark led an expedition to map the Louisiana Territory with Sacagawea. I always forget how to say that name. Sacagawea. Sacagawea, right? And I believe they were an American Indian that helped them at that time or something like that. Sacagawea was an American Indian that helped them.
Yeah,
Native American. Sacagawea. You don't have to worry about saying that name for your interview. So hopefully that uses. She's not going to be on the interview. If you look at this map, this was the Louisiana Territory that was mentioned, and it was this large portion that we had to buy from France for $15 million. I'm trying to remember. The Mississippi River runs down this way. So because of the purchase, you can now just send goods down the river, which is why they decided to buy it, to make it a lot easier to do trades and businesses. So some movies that I think are interesting that involve war that you could be interested in is there's Saving Private Ryan. He was this movie covers World War II. We have Behind Enemy Lines, which isn't like any of the wars that we talked about. It's the Bosnian War, and it's about a pilot who crashes, and he was a war pilot, so it's interesting. There's Good Morning Vietnam, which is the Vietnam War. 12 Years of Slavery covers slavery before the Civil War happened. Pearl Harbor, which was World War II. Glory covers Civil War. And the 13th was also another slavery film. Do you have any other movies that you think I should have added to this list? I do recommend them. They're pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna be putting this presentation on Google Classroom so you have access to it. Okay, any questions on anything we covered so far? Okay. So let's move on to the civics questions and review everything we just learned. Can someone actually it's 7:06. I didn't realize. Okay. Do you guys want to spend an extra time going over civics questions, or do you guys we can go over this next class? What do you prefer? You want to go over it right now? Okay, I feel bad making you guys stay longer. I didn't realize the time. But if you have to leave, please feel free to
How
go.
long more?
I'm sorry?
How long more? Like we have to stay.
Maybe 10 minutes-ish, I'd say.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay. But if you have to leave, please feel free to leave. I'm so sorry for keeping you guys here. Can someone raise their hand and tell me one war fought in the United States in the 1800s? Civil War? Anyone else? Back there? You had your hand raised? The War of 1812? Rosa? Mexican-American War? Anyone else? So you have the War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, Civil War, and Spanish-American War. What group of Americans was taken to America and sold as slaves? Sergio? African? And you can also say people from Africa. Can someone name one U.S. war between the North and the South? Civil War? And then you can also say the war between the states. Can someone name one problem that led to the Civil War? Maria? Slavery? Did you have a different answer? Economic reasons? Anyone else have something else? So yeah, slavery, economic reasons, or states' rights. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? Sergio? Maria? I think you're thinking about Benjamin Franklin. Sandra? Freed the slaves. Anyone else have something different? I'm sorry? Yes. So he saved and preserved the Union. Yep. He freed the slaves and he led the US during the Civil War. Okay. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Freed the slaves? Sorry, I should have said something. I was zoning out there for a second. Freed the slaves in the Confederate States. That last part is not mandatory. You can just say freed the slaves. This is too long to remember, I feel. Name one war fought by the United States in 1900s. World War One. And what'd you say, Rosa? 1, 2. Anyone else have anything else? Vietnam? Anyone else? I'm sorry? Oh, the Gulf War. Yep. Anyone else? Korean War. Okay. We got most of them. I didn't hear World War II. At least maybe I'm hoping that someone said it, but yep, you guys all got them. You can also say Persian Gulf War, but that's not necessary. Who was president during World War I? Sergio? Woodrow Wilson. You can also just say Wilson, if that makes it easier. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? Rosa? Franklin Roosevelt. Yep. Who did the United States fight in World War II? Sandra? Japan, Italy, and Germany. You have to make sure when they ask you this question, though, that you say all three. You can't just pick one, unfortunately. So, yep, that's important. Remember all three. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. In what war was he in? Maria?
World War II.
World War II. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? Rosa? Communists? Communism. Basically just the fact of it spreading, but you could say communism. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? Luis? Terrorists attacked the United States. Yes, good job. When do we celebrate Independence Day? Sergio? July 4th. Can someone name 2 U.S. national holidays? Luis? Christmas and New Year. I don't think New Year is a part of that. Thanksgiving. Yeah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, President's Day. It is a part of it. Oh, then I'm just dumb. Sorry. Wait, I don't have it on this list though. Huh? Oh, I don't know why I saw it. I was looking down here. You're right, it is the first one. Yeah, because I always think of New Year's being like the very last thing in the year. I don't know why I didn't think of it as the very first thing in the year. I totally ignored that. I totally did.
I think New Year's is more important than Christmas.
Yeah, because not everyone celebrates Christmas. Okay. Can someone? No, you're right. You stood your ground. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? Rosa? Louisiana Territory, or you could also say Louisiana. All right. We have reading, writing sentences, but I think you guys are good on that, unless you guys want me to go through those really quick. But this is stuff that we've already covered, so I feel like I'm confident in you guys. I think we can do next class. Yeah, we can do next class for reading and writing. So, any questions before we end this class today? Okay. Well, next class, we're just gonna go do some Kahoot, and we're gonna do some writing and reviewing. My information is here with Cindy's if anyone needs it. And if you haven't signed in onto that sheet, please do so. All right, any questions from anyone on Zoom before I end the Zoom call?
Thank you so much for everything you guys do for us.
Of course, thank you, Christina, for being here.
Good
Thank you so
job.
much. Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
much.
Oh,
Have a
actually,
good night.
Thank
before you
you.
guys go,
Bye.
hi, can you guys send your names on the chat so I can have attendance?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me see.
Thank you. See you
Yeah.
Thursday. Good night.
See you. Thank you, Christina.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ya limpiamos.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Zoom. Take care, guys.